Welcome ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to take a look at the Stamina Sorc two-hander PvE build for Dragonbones DLC. I do have a written guide on my website, link in the description. Now how does this compare to the dual-wield bow setup? Basically, the two-hander bow setup has way more AoE damage, especially if you chose to run a master two-hander. Dual-wield bow setup has a little bit more single target, however the difference is not that big. Let's just quickly jump through things. There is also quite a lot of gear variations that you actually can choose, we will get to that in a second. I'm running the Warrior Mundus Stone, like always. Buff food wise, make sure to run this, max health, max stem. Potions, weapon power pots, they give you brutality, savagery, and they restore stamina. In case you have sustain issues, you could run Dubious Cavern Throne. Just be careful. Make sure to have at least 17k health. In terms of race, all stamina race works, but I still recommend being a red guard. First off, you get 10% max stem, and you have just way better sustain than any other race. But like I said, Khajiit, Imperial, Orc, they're all good. Now, in terms of gear, please make sure to not forget to subscribe. I will upload more videos in the future. If you want to see this build in action, I actually main this setup at the moment, so mostly in the live streams you will see a lot of footage from this build. I currently use a mix in Moth Lorcash. I always swap between dual wield and two-hander, mostly because, like I said, two-hander just offers way more AoE DPS and dual wield for single target. Obviously that's easier or simpler if you have an add-on to swap gear, otherwise it will be a little bit too difficult. In terms of gear, so this is the very, let's say, basic or standard setup. I'm running mechanical acuity. Now why this? So two-handers always have one problem. You just lack critical weapon crit. The main reason why is because dual wield has the twin blade and blunt passive, which like each dagger gives them 5% extra crit. And obviously we're running a two-hander, we don't have access to that. Now with mechanical acuity, this problem kind of gets solved, or let's say band-aided. So our crit just shot up in the air. Now what I am doing is, I'm running 5 pieces acuity. Here, 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 here. And the sword. We only front bar this, it's enough. You basically almost will get the max duration possible, like the uptime, even if you only front bar it, so it's really nice. Make sure to have all divine with stamina enchants on your armor. The second set we are running is Vicious Ophidian, 3 pieces jewelry and 1 piece belt, or just whatever you actually have. It doesn't necessarily have to be a belt. So you can run 5 acuity, 4 vicious, and 2 monster set. You can obviously also run 5 vicious, then you can just remove, let's say, the monster head or the shoulder. DPS difference is not that huge, but your sustain will be much better. Like I always say, there is tons of different gear setups on my website. I list most good stamina gear sets, so make sure to go check them out if you're interested. This is just one possible option. Stormfist, I do like this, deals really nice damage and also gives us a little bit more stamina recovery. As you can see, we actually have quite high 1.2k, also due to some Sorc passives that help. All weapon damage enchants here. Like I said, just make sure to have all stem enchants with divine. With this setup, I have 1 heavy piece, 1 light, and 5 medium. The reason why you want to do this is because of the Undaunted passive, Undaunted Metal, so we get 6% max resources. However, if you want to run like 6 medium, 1 heavy, you also can do that. The weapon, it needs to be a sword, Nirnhound, and the weapon damage enchantment, that's how it performs the best, especially in terms of AoE damage, and probably also single target. Backbar, Maelstrom Bow, Nirnhound, Precise also works, but Nirnhound is a little bit better, and then the damage health poisons, which give you about 2k DPS. Now just to touch on a second setup that I'm currently running in trials. Now I usually support my group with Night Mother's Gaze, so I made sure to have 5 pieces Night Mother's Gaze, 4 here, yeah, and this one, this. Make sure to have all divines again, I don't know why mine is infused here. And the second set is 5 pieces Two-Fanged Snake. Now we only run this on trash fights, because we need extra penetration. That's why I have this here. As you can see, I don't have a monster set this time, because now I'm running the Master Greatsword. Now this hits really hard. Just to kind of showcase, I mean, this was on my tempo, but it doesn't matter. Now, Carve here. This was with the Master Two-Hander. And you see, the max hit it gave us is 53k. This was obviously with full raid buffs. But as you can see, the tooltip here is not that high. It's a 5k tooltip, which turns into a 50k hit. With a crit, obviously. On top of that, you're basically invincible, because when you hit about 5 mobs, you get a 20k shield every time you use this Brawler ability. Use Brawler. I tried the other morph Carve, I think in the last raid on the parse you saw there, and it's just too risky, you die way too easy. So just make sure to run this Brawler more, very important. So yeah, that's another setup. Like I said, on my website you can find a lot of those things. Now here the CP 56, 32, 48, 48. You want quite a lot of points in Master Arms, because some abilities are direct damage. Then we have 40, 40, 49, 76, 35. Keep in mind, the CP on my website might vary a bit from this setup here, especially the red ones, because I'm currently raiding mostly in Morph Lore Karsh. I do have an article on my website, Maximize Damage Mitigation in Trials. So I'm kinda running the setup for Morph Lore Karsh, the optimized one here on the, just in case you're wondering why it's a little bit different. Now in terms of passives, you don't need all. I usually just list all class passives on my website, but you really only need this here, magic and stamina cost reduction, those are not that relevant. Then Power Stone is nice, ulti cost reduction, increases your health and stamina recovery while you have a Daedric summoning ability slotted. So keep in mind, this here would be one, but you also could slot Crit Search or Vigor here. I will get to that in a second. And yeah, this is not really needed, but whatever. Here, some really nice damage ones, 5% physical damage, auto execute, and a little bit more weapon damage. Make sure to have the Two-Hander passives, bow. Obviously, if you swap back and forth between dual wield and bow setups, also make sure to have dual wield. Medium armor, make sure to have 1 heavy piece. The Juggernaut one, because we have 1 heavy armor piece, so you get a little bit more health. Fighter's Guild, Undaunted, racial passives, and medicinal use, because this makes your potion last longer, will increase your sustain, your damage, just everything. Really nice. Now in terms of skills. Front bar Brawler, like I said, very strong ability. Wrecking Blow, now this is your single target. skill hits really hard. I usually weave it with heavy attacks. I do have the rotation on my website. You can go check it out there. Reverse slice. This is used in the execute. Try to use it from like 25%, something like that. It already starts scaling at 50%, but I usually start using it at 25%. And if possible, light attack with this in the execute. It also has huge splash damage. Let's actually just quickly go back to the trash fight, reverse slice. Now this is again on the temper, but it doesn't matter. So here, reverse slice, 46k. This is the actual ability, the single target ability. And this here is the splash damage, 65k. So the splash damage can do more damage than the actual like direct hit. Hurricane. Nice AoE ability, also gives you Major Resolve and Major Ward, increasing resistances and increases movement speed. And Bound Armaments, I only recommend using this if you're familiar with your group, because otherwise you don't have any heal on your bars. This gives you 8% more max stamina and also increases your heavy attack damage. It needs to be slotted on both bars to be active. Alias Dawnbreaker. Can be a nice AoE ability, also gives us 5% more weapon damage and an additional 3% because of the Slayer passive, another 3%, so we have 8 in total from this. This bar is always fixed if you're on the two-hander setup. Back bar, Endless Hail with the Maelstrom Bow, must have. Rearming Trap, also really strong ability, gives us minor force, increasing critical damage. Then Poison Injection, really strong dot. Caltrops, also strong dot. I always say this setup here is more or less always the same on my stem abilities, because those are not class specific abilities. Then we have Bound Armaments again. Now here, in terms of ultimate, on AoE Trash, I actually like to use Suppression Field. It does more damage than, for example, Dawnbreaker. Obviously it also costs more. Single target wise, there is two options. You can either use the Ballista, which is very easy to use and it deals a lot of damage. Or you can use the Storm Atronach, which got a huge buff and actually deals about the same damage. But you need to position the mob, and another player can actually use Charged Lightning Synergy, increasing their damage by 25% for 8 seconds and also buffing the Atro. In best scenario, your Atro actually can do more damage than the Ballista. Just keep that in mind. Obviously this has a 28-second duration and the Ballista is 4.4 seconds. So if you want to be bursty, definitely run the Ballista. In case you need some healing, what you can do is remove Bound Armaments. You don't lose that much damage. That's usually what I do, like this. So I have Vigor on the back bar, and on the front bar I have Crit Surge. If you have Crit Surge active, you can only really die if you get one shot, because this heals a lot. Also very helpful, you get the weapon damage buff from this, so if you don't want to run expensive pots, then you get Brutality, but just keep in mind you don't have access to Savagery. You will lose that. That's more or less it about the setup. I think I talked enough. Again, check out my past live streams. I have quite a lot of footage of those setups, both dual wield and two-hander. And again, there is a lot of builds. There's a lot of gear combos possible. So test out a few things, use what you feel most comfortable with. I always say adjust the build to your needs, because everybody has a different playstyle. That's basically it. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and if you have any questions, ask in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.